Esiet sveicināti, dārgie LV basketbols kanāla skatītāji, tāpat arī portāla sports.com lasītāji, jo pie jums šis saturs nonāks rakstiskā formātā. Mans vārds ir Kristiāns Dilāns, un šodien man pievienojies Nīderlandes basketbola eksperts. Now I'm switching to English. We're joined by Rens Hammerstein. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. And Rens is currently a basketball operations assistant at Orange Lions Academy. Orange Lions Academy is basically the excellency center of Dutch basketball. But before we get into this, could you please walk us through your role, what it involves, and just so the listeners can get a better picture of what you do?
Yeah, so thank you for having me. Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, so I'm basketball operations assistant and a coordinator, scouting coordinator at the Orange Lions Academy and the Dutch Basketball Federation. Um, so what it entails is I work for the federation, but I in the youth, primarily in the youth departments. So our youth department, our talent development department, consists of several programs. We have the national teams that every country has, from the official FIBA teams like under 16, under 18, under 20. But also we have an under 15 program, and we had on the men's side, also an under 24 program, and recently an under 23 on the women's side. Um, Obviously, those national teams are quite seasonal. It's not a daily training situation. We have an academy, Orange Lions Academy, which is a talent development program at the Federation. So that's our full-time training program. Similar concept as INSEP in France and the Helsinki Academy in Finland. Um, Czech Academy, Czech Republic is similar, where it's a federation-run academy. So it's a similar setup as those programs.
Yeah, I actually called it the Excellency Program or Excellency Center because it's a literal translation from Latvian because we recently created this like 2 years ago or like 2 seasons ago. Our federation stepped into that. But to continue, you guys, the Dutch, are known as the tallest nation in the world, but basketball doesn't seem to be amongst the most popular sports. Why do you think that is?
Um, yeah, it's a big soccer country. A really big soccer country. So yeah, it's the most popular sport. Basketball, on the other hand, it's growing. Since the COVID years, it's been the quickest growing indoor sport. We have a lot of waiting lists as well. So it's definitely a sport that's on the rise here. But yeah, it's just soccer is really big, and obviously in other sports we've had a lot of success at the Olympics. We do very well, um, but it's not a sport, basketball, that is very visible here. It's not like you can see it on TV regularly. Um, the professional league isn't a league that a lot of people that aren't into basketball necessarily know about. So it's a sport that still is has a lot of potential here, and it's growing. Yeah, so hopefully it'll keep growing. We see now with from a talent development aspect that we have a lot of players or some interesting upcoming generation now with guys in their early to mid 20s. On the women's side, we have a lot of players in D1 going to D1 every year. So hopefully we can keep the momentum going.
So while preparing for our meeting, I stumbled upon a Reddit post where people answered why they think basketball isn't as popular in the Netherlands, and they mentioned the sport called korfbal. It was the first time for me hearing this sport, and they said it's a mix between basketball and netball. Do you think korfbal's popularity has in some way held back the growth of Dutch basketball? And
No, I
is
don't.
is it is it is it as similar as people wrote it online?
It's pretty similar to netball, yeah. I wouldn't say that's one of the major reasons why we're being held back. I wouldn't go that far. It's yeah, it's korfball also isn't really like a major sport in the Netherlands. We're really good at it, but it's also because not many countries play it. Um, but no, I wouldn't say that's a reason why basketball's being held back.
And you might not have had the highest success in the 5-on-5 basketball, but back in the summer of 2024, you guys won the gold in a 3x3 Olympic gold. How do you think that impacted the basketball in general in the Netherlands? Did it create some kind of a momentum?
It did, yeah. It created a lot of media attention. The Olympics is a big event for us in the Netherlands. We might be a small country, but our sport infrastructure is pretty good. And our national Olympic committee, they invest a lot of money and support a lot of different sports in the Netherlands. And we've had a lot of good results the last few Olympics. So everything is always nationally televised at the Olympics. So 3x3 is a relatively new sport. It was the second time they were at the Olympics. Um, and it's a sport that we were early investors in, so to say. Uh, yeah, we've had people within our federation who believed in it from the very start, have grown it and helped develop it for years. So for us, it was a beautiful, nice result to see that finally pay off. It meant a lot to a lot of people within our organization, but it also helped put us a little bit more on the map as a sport. We were nationally televised. There was a lot of media attention. Still is. Like the guys basically kind of became celebrities, the players. So that definitely helped. Definitely helped put our sport a bit more on the map. And it's also a fun discipline. It's a bit different, obviously. It's not that 5-on-5 isn't fast paced, but 3x3 obviously it's a bit shorter games, a lot going on, less breaks. So I think it's definitely something yeah, that aided the growth and interest in basketball.
So you're saying that Worthy de Jong is better known as a 3x3 star in the Netherlands than a 5-on-5 player, because I mean he was also some time ago he was one of the best guys of the 5-on-5 team.
Yeah, he was for a long time. He was yeah, one of our top players in the Netherlands and in the national team. Um, but yeah, the 3x3 success definitely made him more of a national icon. And people who aren't like true basketball fans probably wouldn't know which team he played for in the Netherlands or anything like that, but they'll know him from the shot he made in the final and yeah, his performance in 3x3.
I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Latvian Estonian basketball league, but that's our local competition, and you guys are in somewhat similar situation with the BNXT league, Belgium and the Netherlands playing together. How would you describe the level of competition there? How do you see the league growing? Because also same as the Latvian Estonian league, it's a pretty new league. Only I think is it the fifth season only, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the fifth season. Yeah, off the top of my head.
Started in 2020 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, it's an interesting concept. I think maybe you guys have similar. How old is the Latvian Estonian league?
It's the eighth season
Okay.
currently.
Yeah, you always have some maybe growing pains is a bit strong of a word, but in terms of the format, you kind of they've been puzzling a little bit over the past few years. Obviously, yeah, we started I think with 20 teams off the top of my head. I think it was 10 Dutch, 10 Belgian,
And I
um,
think I think
and now
sorry to
since
interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. I think during the first years you only played like the regular season was played only between the Dutch teams and between the Belgian
yeah,
teams, and then you mix it up in the playoffs.
they changed the format a couple times. They also went to a model where yeah, you had like the joint playoffs and things like that, and now they've really gone to that was the case last season where you only played like a domestic playoffs, and the champion, the B next, was from the regular season. because otherwise the season will go on quite long. So they were still puzzling a little bit the first few years with the format. I do believe it was I think it was a good idea to do this. The thing is, in Belgium, basketball is it's a more popular sport. So the teams as well have some more, some bigger budgets due to that. I think in the Netherlands we have some catching up to do in that end. Um, so now you do see some, especially last year was a massive outlier where a lot of the Belgian teams were mostly better. Now you see that balance out a bit more like it was the first few years with Leiden and Heroes and Bulls and Donar back in the competing at the top with the top Belgian team. So that's good. Um, but yeah, those teams are the more traditional teams who can really compete with the Belgian teams, and the other teams, yeah, for whether it's budgetary reasons or others, are still trying to play some catch up with the Belgian competition.
You already basically answered my next question, but I'm still gonna ask. Maybe you have some different thoughts. What role has the creation of this league generally played in the Dutch basketball development? Do you see it as a crucial part of why the sport is growing, or is it because of I don't know of Quinten Post and other talents you have?
Um, I think it's not one of the bigger reasons, because I think the bigger reasons why it's growing is because of just the popularity of the sport. The league still isn't nationally televised, so it's not like people see it even there if they're just casual fans, just trying to look for a sporting event on their TV or online. I think the popularity is more like you said, maybe the 3x3 gave some basketball attention. As a federation, we've done a lot of work, the basketball participation department, in promoting the sport. But as well, the last few years, definitely with someone like Quinton Post, who obviously plays for the Warriors now and got drafted. We've had we have a couple guys in the G League the last few years. So these guys are, yeah, that there's more media attention for them. And that helps grow the sport. And obviously, the sport of basketball is quite um, it's a sport that's pretty popular, obviously, on social media. You can see it, you quickly see a highlight. It's associated with fashion or music. So that's definitely also something that how people who are maybe not necessarily basketball fans get in touch with the sport and find some type of interest in the sport.
But now finally getting to the point, the window is upcoming. Like the first games are set to take place on Friday. What is the expectation in Dutch basketball community? I will ask.
Yeah, look, for us it's an exciting generation. We have a lot of we have a good for us for our standards a talented generation in their mid to low 20s. Plus with some older guys who have been pros in Europe for a while. So it's good to see that mix. Unfortunately, we're missing some players who are in the US. It's not different for you guys in Latvia. So that's always a bit of a letdown that that's just how the basketball industry works with the timing of the windows that otherwise you could really we've yet to really see the full potential of this generation together. It's obviously a young generation, but because of that we haven't always had the pieces yet, which in a small basketball country is you just have less depth than the top countries in that sense. So if you miss a couple players, then that hurts. But it's we're all excited to see our these young generation with some guys being in Europe, coming out of college, and really being more and more established names in Europe to see them together and play for the national team. Um, for us, that's it's a pretty exciting time that's coming up now.
Out of the 15 players named for this window by Coach Rojakers, I'm not sure if I'm
Yes.
pronouncing his name correctly. More than a half, eight, are actually playing abroad. I mean, I included Marin
Yeah.
hard to pronounce
Rivers.
his. Yeah, Verver's in this list, even though he's playing in the local league. Do you think the number of players playing abroad, and actually five of those players playing in the top European competitions, in the top domestic leagues, do you think it kind of sort of reflects the growth of the Dutch basketball?
Yeah, I think so. I also think it shows the that there's more visibility for Dutch basketball, so more people within basketball who are working within basketball consider it more of a market now, with more potential. So there's more players being scouted there. We see every year that whether it's a domestic player or an American, and if they have a good year, they go to a top league, whether it's Germany, France, or Spain. Yeah, we see that people are more actively watching the league, and that they play international. Yeah, I think it shows the development of Dutch basketball. You also see it on the youth level. We have a lot of prospects who already at a young age play abroad at good programs. So I think it shows not just the growth of Dutch basketball, like in terms of talent development, but also in terms of the exposure and how people outside view the Dutch market.
You already touched on the absences in this window. Basically, all the guys playing across the pond. Quinton Post is a legitimate NBA player, but there's also Jesse Edwards, Malevi Leons, and Tristan and Aruna. What's the what's the goal for these guys? Are they still trying to get to the NBA? I mean, no, I think was Jesse Edwards playing in the NBL.
Jesse moved to the NBL. Yeah, he's with Melbourne now. Having a
So
good
why is
season.
he not available?
Because the season is uh within the NBL it's a bit more difficult. Um you have obviously a lot of logistical challenges and to get prepared in a short window. And the season is the window is there is a bit shorter. They just play especially with the games coming up. They it was difficult to get it logistically as far as I understand. So that makes things a bit challenging. And then on top of that, obviously we have Quinton at the with the Warriors and Malavine and Tristan are in the G League, and we have guys in college. For example, Dwayne Aristote at Arizona. Yeah, those are guys you just can't get for these type of windows. Um, yeah, but you know all about it as Latvia.
Yeah, just so our listeners get a glimpse of the depths of Dutch basketball, who would you point out from the NCAA besides the Arizona guy? Was it Aristotle or what was
Yeah,
his?
Aristote, he's at Arizona. Yeah, we have a couple guys now. We have Seal the Youth at Georgetown. We have Max Picard, Southern Illinois. He transferred from St. Louis. Evan van der Plas at Canisius. Timo George at Portland. So we have Anton Bonke is a player who's quite is having a really good year this year. Kind of under the radar. He's a 7'2" big, plays at Charlotte, University of Charlotte. So yeah, we have some freshmen, sophomores who are doing pretty well, or they're on the rise. So for us, that's exciting.
But now let's touch on some individual players available in this window. Now, Yanik Franke is the guy standing out, one of the top scorers in the Turkish league. How would you characterize him for people who haven't watched him? How is he as a player, and how important is he to this Dutch team?
Yeah, he's an exciting offensive player. Been around for a long time, and still, um, it's not like he's that old. Still in his 20s. So he, for us, he's kind of like the veteran stabilizing factor. If needed, like you can give him the ball, like he'll take care of it. He can get hot any second. He's like a microwave scorer. Great shooter, shown that his whole career. And he takes a lot of pride for playing for the national team. So for us, it's nice to have a veteran player who's in the prime of his career, that some of the young guys can kind of rely on and who can kind of balance it out. We're not super guard heavy, so for him, for us, he's a very, very important player.
But do you see him as the secondary ball handler? Because you guys also have Keje van der Voors de Vries. Really hard for me to, to pronounce his surname. And I mean, he's the best passer currently in the Turkish league. Him being the floor general of the team, is he the most important piece for a success for this Dutch team? And do you also see him as the primary ball handler, and then Yannick as the secondary, and also creating something off the dribble?
Yeah, Guy and Marijn Ververs, they're point guards. They're mo usually the primary ball handlers. And Yannick Vanke will plays more the two. But he can also handle the ball. And we also have Charlon Clove, a veteran who plays both the one and the two. But Kai definitely is at his best when he can create for others. So yeah, that combination has worked well in the past. So the excited to see the Funk Kai combination with Marijn Ververs also involved.
And now, probably the best known name out of for in this Dutch team for Latvian viewers and listeners, Yanik Kra. He's also a great friend of one of our centers who's not included, Chris Helmans. They played together in Badalona. But previously on our show, this it's called LV Basketballs, basically Latvian basketball. Andrej Silinch, my co-host, he mentioned talking to NBA personnel, and they basically described Yannick Krag as the perpetual NBA prospect. But I heard he was also somewhat close to signing a two-way deal with the Sixers in the summer, and also now he's on an expiring deal, playing in one of the hottest teams in Europe, actually. Uh, how would you describe Yannick Krag? Where do you see his ceiling, and where do you see maybe him heading after this season in Badalona?
Yeah, Yannick, always obviously the body, the profile is stereotypical NBA. I think he's taken a very well thought out, patient approach to his career, which is rare to see. He's really patient and picked picked Barcelona for yeah, he believed in their plan. So I really like how he's gone about his career. Obviously, a really talented player, really modern player in terms of his body and his versatility, being able to defend multiple positions, good scoring off the ball, um, can rebound, can defend. So yeah, modern, versatile player. Still young. He's 2002, so he's 23. I think he recently turned 23. Um, Playing in the top competition with a good team. So yeah, I'm hoping we're all hoping he can take a step this year, both offensively and defensively. I like that with the national team, he always has a bit more of a leading role offensively. He's a bit more aggressive than he is at Barcelona. So yeah, we're hoping to see him develop those skills further at his club, and potentially, yeah. Again, he's already playing at a high level, obviously. So for us, it's already um, quite unique. He plays Euro Cup already, but hopefully yeah, untap a little bit more of his potential and potentially go EuroLeague or wherever he ends up. But hopefully he can be a leading player for us for the next several years.
But how close was he to going to the States this past summer?
I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
the specifics.
Okay, okay. But there were some talks about him going to Philly, right?
There were some rumors.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know the yeah what was true or not.
Uh, but okay, if every team has its vulnerabilities, what would you say are the biggest weaknesses of this Dutch squad? Because I mean the starting five looks pretty stacked.
Yeah, I think especially with the new coach, we like to play aggressive, both defensively and offensively. Um, so I think yeah, shooting is never like our strong suit. We have some shooters, but Yannick Vanka now I'm curious to see how he'll play. He didn't play this summer, so I'm curious how he fits into the system and he obviously adds a big shooting punch for us that we were really missing this summer. We obviously have more of the NBA G League guys this summer, which brings a different type of offense. So I'm curious how we'll handle that and more also the depth, especially in the front court, to see how we handle with the physicality of front court of Poland and Latvia in the upcoming window, and see if we're able to match that with this squad.
Might be a bit sensitive topic for you since you're also working in the federation, but can you talk about the decision of going with a local coach, let's say with a Dutch coach instead of a foreigner? Because here in Latvia, we've had our biggest successes with a foreigner, and now we decided to stick with another foreigner.
Yeah, yeah, I wasn't directly involved in the hiring process, and some details, yeah, that I know. Obviously, some of it I can't share, but for us, it was more. It wasn't necessarily about the coach being Dutch or not. I know we looked at a variety of candidates, but Coach Royakkers is a experienced coach internationally as well. He's coached in Germany for years, and now is doing a great job at Kortrijk, also coached in Italy. Um, so yeah, for us, it's not just, oh, we picked a domestic coach. It's actually a coach that is Dutch, but also has a track record, also internationally. So it was more about things like style of play and way of working and managing players that made the decision instead of just, oh, we need a Dutch coach. It's not that fixated.
How important do you think was the fact that he's working actually in the domestic league? And also being named the best coach of the domestic league last season.
Mm, I don't know if that was that important. I think it helps that obviously that if you're Dutch or at least working affiliated with the Netherlands, um, you have a connection also with the younger players and maybe more interest in, hey, what is um, not obviously it's important to perform and then get results, but you're also thinking more about the whole infrastructure. So, for example, I know we had some young players practice in the national team practice. Not that they're part of the squad, but hey, just get them involved. And there's interest in, hey, who's coming up the pipeline, um, and just in general, yeah, the more depth in the roster selection, so to say. So more interested in which players are actually out there and what's coming up. But I don't think that's necessarily, obviously, Coach Hoyakkers is Dutch and he works in the BNXT, but our past coach, Ike Shivek, he's from Israel, but he also had a connection to the Netherlands. He coached there for years. Um, Worked for the federation before as well, so he also had that type of interest in Dutch basketball and cared for Dutch basketball. So I don't think that necessarily comes with you being Dutch or not, but it's more likely when obviously you have a Dutch coach or works in the BNX, so he's more close to the landscape.
And lastly, how would you power rank our group? And please give me your prediction for the first two games against Latvia and against the Poland. I think you're playing in the second game.
Oh, that's difficult to say. Obviously, I work for the federation, so um, but yeah, and I know I have friends in Poland as well, so it's it's a bit
I think we have a mutual friend in Poland.
yeah, yeah. So no, it's again, I think it's definitely an exciting group. I don't think it's a group where we're going to expect a lot of blowouts or anything like that. I think it's going to be a fun, competitive games. Um, we played Austria already this summer, and we won one and lost the other. So that was fun. Obviously, they had Jakob Pertl, and we had our G League guys. So those will be different games, but they were both competitive games. And Poland and Latvia obviously are. Um, both experienced but also true basketball countries. So it'll be exciting to see them and put up a fight. I'm up for me it's I'm really curious just and excited to see how we stack up against countries like Latvia and Poland with this group, which isn't fully complete. But still nice to see how this generation that's building now to see where we stand and how we compare to these more established basketball countries.
Okay, thank you so much, Rens. That's it from my side. Un arī skatītājiem aicināšu uzspiest laiku un, protams, arī abonēt mūsu kanālu, lai nepalaist garām tālākos video. Tā kā, once again, thank you so much, Rens, for taking the time and hopefully see you in the Netherlands. Are you coming to Latvia or?
I'm not coming to Latvia, no, but hopefully one day.
Yeah, by the way, where do you guys play your home games?
We have a couple locations, but we're playing our next game in The Hague.
Okay, okay. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you when you guys host us. So
Thank you for having me.